countries would suffer too.
January 18, 2026. Trump administration news. EU ambassadors hold emergency meeting over Greenland. Greenland tensions. European ambassadors held an emergency meeting today after President Donald Trump threatened to hit several allies with tariffs unless a deal is reached for the U.S. purchase of Greenland. An update is expected tomorrow. Earlier, the 8 nations threatened by Trump warned of a dangerous downward spiral.
Some warn the tariffs risk a dangerous
ICE in Minnesota. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey pushed back on the Trump administration's escalation of federal law enforcement after more than 1,500 active duty soldiers were told to prepare for possible deployment. This act was clearly designed to intimidate the people of Minneapolis, he told CNN. Iran unrest. President Masoud Pezeshkian said any aggression directed at the country's supreme leader would be seen as all-out war against Iran, after Trump called yesterday for new leadership in Tehran.
Several European countries have since sent small troops.
The European Union faced calls on Sunday to implement a never-before-used range of economic countermeasures known as the anti-coercion instrument, as part of the bloc's response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff threats against European allies over Greenland. That weapon, never used before and dubbed the EU's trade bazooka, allows for curbing imports of goods and services. Trump vowed on Saturday to implement a wave of increasing tariffs on EU members Denmark, Sweden, France, Germany, the Netherlands and Finland, along with Britain and Norway, until the United States is allowed to buy Greenland, escalating a row over the future of Denmark's vast Arctic island. All the countries, already subject to tariffs of 10 and 15%, have sent small numbers of military personnel to Greenland.
Countries would suffer too.
Cyprus, holder of the rotating 6-month EU presidency, summoned ambassadors to an emergency meeting in Brussels on Sunday, which EU diplomats said was due to start at 5 p.m., 1600 GMT. In a joint statement Sunday, all 8 countries targeted by Trump said they would stand united in their response. Tariff threats undermine transatlantic relations and risk a dangerous downward spiral. Britain, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Norway and Sweden said.
Mr. Trump has threatened to impose an additional 10.
We will continue to stand united and coordinated in our response. We are committed to upholding our sovereignty. A source close to French President Emmanuel Macron said he was working to coordinate a European response and was pushing for activation of the anti-coercion instrument, which could limit access to public tenders in the bloc or restrict trade in services in which the U.S. has a surplus with the EU. In social media posts late Saturday, Bernd Lang, the German Social Democrat who chairs the European Parliament's Trade Committee, and Valerie Hayer, head of the centrist Renew Europe group, echoed his call, as did Germany's Engineering Association on Sunday.
Any sale of the
However, some EU diplomats said now was not the time to escalate the situation. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, closer to Trump than some other EU leaders, described the tariff threat on Sunday as a mistake, and told a briefing during a trip to Korea that she had spoken to Trump a few hours earlier and told him what she thought. She planned to call other European leaders later on Sunday. Italy has not sent troops to Greenland.
The world could learn. Never had wars.
The deployment to Greenland of small numbers of troops by some European countries was misunderstood by Washington, Meloni said, explaining the deployment was not a move against US but aimed to provide security against other actors that she didn't name. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who leads the centre-left Labour Party, said the tariffs announcement was completely wrong, and his government would be pursuing this directly with the US administration. That's what we can say. Don't forget to support our channel by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. We thank you all for your support.
Some warn the tariffs risk a dangerous down.